So, grilled rockfish with lemon and herbs. My aunt, being an environmentally conscious and sports-loving outdoorswoman, had a subscription to an eco-friendly outdoors-themed magazine. Then there's me, the cooking gremlin who loves finding recipes in weird places. One of my most popular recipes at parties I found on a calendar. Well, this magazine my aunt had is where I found this recipe, grilled rockfish with lemon and herbs. This one excited me because I actually had rockfish in the freezer waiting to be eaten. Hmm. You know how magazines of celebrities Photoshop them to look better in the pictures so the people reading them feel bad about the fact that they don't look like the beautiful pictures and cave and buy all the beauty products the magazine is advertising, not realizing they will never accomplish a look like what's presented in the magazine because it's not reality? Well, they do that with food, too, I discovered. The beautiful spreads of dishes they have plastered on their pages screaming, "Cook like this and you'll eat healthier and impress all your friends and family," are also fabricated. The recipes don't work, won't give what the picture shows, and they don't care because they know you'll be too discouraged to actually try them. And if you do, you're more likely to blame your lack of cooking skill for the recipe's failure, further driving the narrative of na 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 na, you can't do this, you'll never be as good as the people in the magazines. Well, I am no professional cook, but I am a fairly experienced home cook, and I know when something in a recipe just doesn't add up. Let's look at this special recipe. Grilled rockfish with lemon and herbs. I'm not going to waste a perfectly good rockfish on this recipe again, so you'll just have to put up with terrible drawings instead of actual pictures. Also, this recipe didn't conveniently list all the ingredients in one place, it just bolded them as they were brought up in the instructions, so I will spare you that agony and list them for you. Yes, there's some weird ones here. We'll get to them. Okay, on to the directions. Pat fish dry with a paper towel, then make 3 deep parallel cuts on each side. Rub with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. So far so good. This is a reasonable way to start preparations on a fish. Next, stuff the cavity of the fish with shallot, garlic, lemon slices, and fresh herbs. Fresh herbs. What herbs, I hear you ask? Yeah, no, it literally just said herbs. No suggestions of what kind, so I guess anything goes, right? You want to know what fresh herbs I have available to me on hand? Let's see. Dill, parsley, cilantro. Do green onions count? Oh, yeah, and mint and lavender. I don't know off the top of my head what herbs go with specific fish, but something tells me I'm going to have a very different grilled rockfish with lemon and herbs than the magazine's fictional testing kitchen. Then you let this abomination rest in the fridge for 30 minutes and afterwards plop it onto a grill for 8 to 10 minutes per side. But that's the fish done. There were a lot more ingredients for this recipe. What gives? Next instructions. Boil water. Cook green beans, broccolini, 3 to 5 minutes, drain. And it has to be broccolini because broccoli isn't fancy enough, I guess. I like how they ask for the fanciest version of a vegetable and then prepare it in the worst, most tasteless and boring way imaginable. Boiled veggies are why your kids won't eat veggies, you imbeciles. But obviously, this is because the recipe needs to be healthy, of course. Okay. Next instruction. Garnish the fish with the zucchini, sunflower sprouts, sliced almonds, goat's feta cheese, and shallots. Yes, for those who have noticed, it indeed hasn't asked us to cook the zucchini or the shallots used here. Raw zucchini and shallots rank very highly on the list of raw veggies I don't enjoy. I guess this garnish is not meant to be eaten because it will ruin the meal if you try. Anyways, there was something else in that list of garnishes that might have raised some eyebrows. Not the almond flakes, though they are rather expensive to be used in a garnish that we have now established is not meant to be eaten. No, not even the weirdly specified goat's feta cheese to give you the impression that it's better than, I don't know, cow cheese? Because feta is actually normally made with sheep or goat's milk. No, it's the sunflower sprouts. This was the ridiculous ingredient that broke all pretenses that this recipe might be in any way serious. Have you ever seen sunflower sprouts for sale, like as a food? I live in an area where weird stuff shows up at the local farmer's market, and I and my aunt are the perfect geographical demographic for this magazine. I have never seen sunflower sprouts for sale, not in a grocery store, not at a farmer's market, not even at a farm. Nowhere. But that's okay. We can substitute for something that's more reasonable, I'm sure. One substitution for an inedible garnish isn't going to break the recipe. How about bean sprouts? They sell those at the grocery store. But we're not quite done yet, even after decorating with the ridiculous garnishes. No, this recipe needs a sauce. So they have you make salsa verde. Or at least, what they want you to believe is salsa verde. What is it made of? Combine herbs, again, no further specification, garlic, and capers. Whisk in mustard, oil, and vinegar. That's the salsa verde. No, really, it's okay. Don't look up salsa verde, just trust the recipe. Yeah, no, that's kind of like the time a family member of mine thought salsa verde was just salsa but with unripe green tomatoes instead, because, verde, green. Salsa verde is neither of those things. It's usually made with tomatillos, white onion, garlic, cilantro, lime juice, and hot peppers. The garlic's there, I guess. You could make a case for the cilantro, lime juice, and hot peppers maybe being in the unspecified herbs. It doesn't mention using the shallots here, so that's a no-go. And of course, it's missing the key ingredients, tomatillos. So, what do we have in the end? A grilled rockfish with lemon and an unspecified mash of herbs stuffed into its cavity on top of a bed of weird hodgepodge garnishes, the palatability of some being dubious at best, some boring boiled vegetables, and a weird mockery of salsa verde. Does that sound appetizing to you? If you made this, would you have thought you did it wrong and that clearly you just aren't a good cook and you'll never be able to cook like in the pictures of the magazines? Well, guess what? The recipe sucked. Whatever the picture was, wasn't reality as written in the directions. It was dressed up to look good in a magazine and sell that magazine. No one ate the fish after the photos. It was just thrown into the trash. Or maybe they did, but however it was prepared for the pictures does not match the recipe written next to them. The moral of the story? Treat magazines as fiction, even the ones not focused on photoshopped images of supermodels.